Welcome back, my fellow Cobras, to my top 10 games of 2021. I want to first wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. And before we begin with the video, just remember guys that this list is just my pick of the games that I enjoyed the most this year, as well as the games I managed to play, including ones I might have reviewed myself on my channel. So let's do this. Here are my top 10 video games of 2021. Neon Giants: The Ascent is a visually stunning twin-stick shooter that will give you plenty to look at and shoot at, but was let down by weak characters and storyline and not much else to do once it was all over. Despite this, I still had a real blast while it lasted. It's part action RPG, part shooter, with a mix of Diablo's combat and loot and the look of Cyberpunk 2077. The world is packed with loads of details and is one of the best looking games of the year. I just wish that there was more to do in its stunning world other than your usual go to point A to point B missions. The shooting and loot collecting loop was lots of fun throughout, and the game is so much better in co-op, and it had a really awesome futuristic soundtrack to go with it. But there was no New Game Plus, which was a big letdown. But I hear that is coming, and when it does, then I will definitely return to its beautiful neon soaked city one more time. If you've been searching for a third-person shooter that scratches the same itch as Left 4 Dead or other squad-based shooters, then look no further than Aliens Fireteam Elite. There's nothing quite like gunning down xenomorphs with a bunch of friends. Well, Aliens Fireteam Elite allows you to do just that, as it puts you in the boots of a hardened colonial marine in a team of up to 4 players. You then set out exploring infested space colonies full of xenomorphs and Weyland-Yutani android enemies that are all inspired by the iconic film franchise. Players are given 5 classes to choose from, each with their own skill trees, upgrades and weapons specially tailored for different playstyles. You will then have to take on various missions while also searching for loot and valuables to level up your badass marine. The game supports 3-player online co-op play, which is definitely the best way to play. But luckily you can also play solo if you prefer, although the AI is useless in the more harder difficulties. But by blending 1980s action, memorable movie visuals and sounds and addictive combat, Aliens Fireteam Elite has an addictive game loop that me and my friends really enjoyed up until we ran out of things to do. And here lies the game's problem. It would have been higher up my list if not for the lack of content after its release. But what's there is really well done, and it's easily the best Aliens game since Alien Isolation, but there was just not enough content to keep me coming back. From Italian developers Milestone comes Hot Wheels Unleashed, in which I got to live out my childhood racing fantasies. With an awesome collection of 60 Hot Wheel cars with a mixture of real world cars like Audi or the legendary DeLorean from Back to the Future, as well as fictional ones and a decent selection of tracks that are stunning and unique, Unleashed was a bit of a nice surprise for me. With super fun tracks full of numerous loops-de-loops, mad jumps and long corners to drift through, as well as solid multiplayer, Unleashed puts you in the driver's seat, and better yet, it even lets you build your very own Hot Wheels tracks with an excellent in-depth track builder that gave me and my 2 little boys hours of fun. Hot Wheels Unleashed delivers fun environments including your very own basement to customize, a skate park, a college campus and the very cool skyscraper track. The game offers plenty of fun for those looking for a new driving experience, casual players who just want to have some adventurous fun, or even experienced driving experts seeking for a new twist to their driving games. Hot Wheels Unleashed carries enough options, exploration, collections and creativity to keep you busy for months, and I had to add it to my top 10 as I had and still am having fun with the game. After 19 long years since the first game, expectations could not have been higher for Psychonauts 2. Luckily, Raz's psychedelic adventure was a huge surprise and the best platformer I played all year. It offers a very polished original adventure that takes you through some beautifully varied and wacky landscapes as you take on the evil Maligula. There's plenty here for returning fans and first timers alike as you use Raz's psychic abilities like telekinesis, Psyblast and pyrokinesis to solve puzzles and fight off enemies. Favourite characters make a return like Raz's family and his history as a circus performer, which play a key role in the plot, and the humour that made the original so special has also returned. There was way too many collectibles that did bog down the game though, and a little some of the combat got a bit stale near the end, but along with its stunning 3D world, interesting storyline and very fun platforming, this is one platformer you don't want to miss. especially for those of you on Game Pass. Featuring an up-to-date roster of drivers, cars and new tracks, F1 2021 lets players compete in seasons, manage their own F1 team with a fantastic My Team, and even take part in the new Breaking Point story mode, which is a new addition to this year's game. Playing as a young rookie named Aiden Jackson, players will start in Formula 2 and build their way up to Formula 1. The new mode adds drama to races as you'll compete head-to-head with a rival, making it feel like you're playing in your very own episode of the Netflix hit show Drive to Survive. Some old problems persist, like the same old cutscenes, and a handful of new ones crop up, but none of that can hold back this year's F1 game as being the best ever. And it's matched by decent next-gen versions and a few welcome small changes to the handling of the cars. The AI has again been improved and now put up a better fight. There's a whole season's worth of racing and it all looks impressively authentic, and given that F1 fans like me are enjoying one of the best seasons ever, this is easily the best time to get into F1. If you've ever wanted to get an F1 game, then F1 2021 is without a doubt the game to get. Being a fan of the Resi games, I had high expectations for Resident Evil Village, and Capcom did not disappoint me. Capcom's latest entry in the horror saga might now be more famous for its sexy large-breasted vampire lady, but Village is another very strong entry to the series. Village builds on the success of 2017's huge hit Resident Evil 7, keeping the first-person's perspective and protagonist Ethan Winters, but this time it takes the action horror to a super scary Eastern European village, and its even creepier surroundings. It also feels a bit closer to the classic Resident Evil entries, with some camp dialogue and elaborate puzzles to overcome. Some of the boss fights were a bit of a letdown, but the great variety of enemies throughout keeps things tense, especially on hardcore mode. Some have complained that it relied too much on gunplay and not enough on the horror, but I liked the change of pace and had an absolute blast with Village, and it was a real thrill ride from start to finish. And I really can't wait to see where Capcom take the series next. One of the most requested gaming upgrades of all time, Legendary Edition takes the original Xbox 360 Mass Effect games and gives them a 4K makeover. The result is a stunning sci-fi saga that looks and feels as impressive as it did a decade ago, whether you're a returning or new player. Content-wise, we get everything from the originals, including all the DLC, as well as tons of quality of life improvements, better loading times, an updated UI, improved vehicle controls, tighter combat and much more, means the hours you spend saving the galaxy won't feel quite as frustrating. At the heart of it all is a legendary campaign with its excellent system of choice and consequence dialogue, ensuring no two playthroughs are ever the same. If you guys are yet to experience Commander Shepard's adventure, then you are missing out, and it is easily one of the best trilogy of games ever made. And all three games are now even better than ever. With what began as a reboot of the series with 2016's Hitman, Hitman 3's finale sees everyone's favourite genetically enhanced bored assassin Agent 47 visiting 6 of the franchise's most beautiful designed locations yet, that are all filled with fun and ingenious ways to dispose of your targets, with every one of them being a masterclass in level design. While the global killing spree doesn't offer a heap of innovations over the first 2 chapters, beyond the camera to hack networks remotely and a virtual reality mode for PSVR, the satisfaction of pulling off the perfect hit and walking away undetected remains unrivaled. The story, which was a bit hard to follow in the first 2 games, is all explained here in the 3rd game and ends Agent 47's adventure perfectly. IO Interactive gave our favourite bald-headed assassin the perfect swan song, and I really hope this is not the last we see of Agent 47. Also, IO Interactive's next project is a brand new James Bond game, and I'm very excited to see what they come up with, and I feel they are definitely the perfect developers for the job. It started out as a spin-off from the more sim-based Forza Motorsport racing series, but Forza Horizon has now become the main event. With its now well-known brand of online and offline racing that everyone can enjoy, set across beautifully designed real-world inspired maps. Horizon 5 brings its jam-packed racing to Mexico in another loving package that includes a huge campaign, always fun multiplayer, a crazy amount of cars to collect, and a feel-good festival vibe to go with it. Horizon 5 doesn't introduce much that's new beyond the excellent co-op mode Horizon Tour, but it refines everything that the previous game did and has a much better campaign structure for sorting through the ridiculous amount of things to do. And let's not forget the absolutely spectacular visuals that really shows off what the Xbox Series X can do so far. I had a load of fun with Forza Horizon 5, and although the next Forza Horizon game is now a very long way away, many fans like me really hope we can go racing in Japan in the next Horizon game, and I'm sure Playground Games can pull it off. But for now, Forza Horizon remains the best racing game series money can buy, and Forza Horizon 5 is yet another example of why this is. So before I reveal my number one game of the year, guys, let me just say that it's been another great year of gaming with so many great games that I did not get a chance to play or review, but still think I should give a shout out to. So here are a couple of honorable mentions.
This is the story of a magical kingdom, one of wizards and warriors. It's an epic tale set upon the high seas, an odyssey through time and space. Pew, 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 pew.
It's also a bit of a winter wonderland bobsled sort of thing, you know? Oh, wait a minute. Did I mention the big explosion? Hold it right there. Look at these dolls. Almost forgot they used to be humans. Ay, ay, ay. Do you want to know what this story is really about? Huh?
Dr. Nefarious. This is the part where you lose.
Ratchet, the Dimensionator.
Dr. Nefarious just crowned himself Emperor of this dimension.
We've got to get him and us out of here. But without the Dimensionator...
I think we have to build a new one. The boundaries between the universes are coming undone.
Let's go, yo-ho, yo-ho, our time has finally come!
It was tough to decide my number one spot this year as I was torn between Forza and Halo. But in the end I went with the game I truly enjoyed the most. Whether it be the addictive One More Go multiplayer or the fresh campaign, Halo had me hooked from the start. While Halo 4 and Halo 5 Guardians were both fine games, the long-awaited Halo Infinite is where things have finally clicked for developer 343 Industries. Infinite this time thankfully concentrates on the iconic Master Chief as humanity's last hope and gives him new weapons and mechanics that really do refresh the celebrated 20-year-old franchise. Amongst these is the new super fun grapple shot tool, which kind of turns Master Chief into Spider-Man, allowing him to reach new heights, disarm enemies and more. While the shift to a more open world structure feels like an evolution for the series, and I had a ton of fun exploring the open world. Although a bit more visual variety to the map would have been nice. But with this engaging story campaign that also gives us a great enemy in the form of the Banished, along with some fun traditional boss battles and a super addictive free-to-play multiplayer which is just getting better and better by the day, this is a mighty return to form for the Master Chief and 343 Industries. It may have taken 6 years to arrive, but Halo Infinite has definitely been worth the wait, and I'm just glad to see the Master Chief back doing what he does best, making Halo Infinite my number one pick for Game of the Year. So that's my top 10 games of 2001, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what is your favorite game of the year, and I want to thank every single one of you for all the love and support you have given my channel this year. I have one more video coming up which will be my 500 subs thank you video, and then that's it from me for a while. So have a fantastic Christmas with your loved one and friends, and I hope to see you all sometime on the next Joe Cobra video. Bye bye guys.